Hello and welcome to another wonderful talk of the positive future for health at Pain Free. And today we've got the amazing Audrey. Do tell me how to say your name, Audrey. Audrey Zannese.
Audrey Zannese, yeah.
Zannese. Thank you so much. And she's going to be talking to us all about sophrology. And it's really new in the UK. There's hardly anybody who does it in the UK. But Audrey comes from France and it's well known in France, but not here in the UK. So I'm thrilled and delighted that I can create this platform for you, my little platform to talk about it and spread the news. Um, so Audrey, we met well actually through a friend. I've got crazy kittens wrecking everything at the moment. Five kittens.
Oh,
Um, and do you want to see Summer Darling?
yes. I want
Bring
to
her
see
in.
a kitten.
Let's have a little hour
That brings
moment.
that brings joy and energy. Oh, so
Oh,
cute. Oh my word.
so sweet.
Such a sweetie. How old? How old are they?
About 6 weeks. 6 weeks.
Oh,
So sweet. Have a little kitten
such
moment.
a
Oh no, little
adorable.
darling. Thank you, my darling. Um, it's the start of an hour moment. Um, yeah, we met through a friend, yeah. So, Audrey, tell us about yourself. How did you get into astrology? Who are you?
Who am I? Right. So where do I start? So yes, I am French in origin, and I came to the UK back in 2005, so 20 years this September. And I came in 2005 to do a PhD at the University of Leeds. So I was a scientist. I was working on ecology and climate change and biodiversity conservation. And during the PhD, I got diagnosed with MS.
Oh,
And yes, that was a bit of a downer. And at the time I started the treatment, yeah, I didn't feel it to do that in the UK. I was just too scared. So what I did
what was
is
what,
that
what was what was the treatment?
so at the time, there were only two options available, and I chose the one which consisted of an intramuscular injection once a week. And the prospect was that it would reduce the number of relapses by 30%. And that, well, I was told as well that eventually the likelihood was that our the MS will escape the treatment if you want, and it will degenerate or become progressive. I am relapsing remitting. Well, I think things have changed a lot now, and there are a lot of treatments. But back in 2007, which is when I started the treatment, the options were not great, the prospects were not really great. And yeah, they were telling you about all these side effects for the treatments. And I just, yeah, I think as well at the time I decided to take the treatment was when I really accepted the diagnosis. Like before that, I was in
Mm,
such denial, and that was my coping strategy. It was just like, no, 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 no. Okay,
coping
I'm not
strategy.
going to go through the whole story, but basically, I I had an episode before, back when I was 24 years old, where I was told, you should check because it's likely to be MS, even if the results we have at the moment are not conclusive. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? No, no, no.
I
And
don't
then
get it, Matt. What are you?
during the PhD, other relapse. And then I thought, okay, this can't keep happening. Better get it checked. Diagnosis comes. And then even then, for a year, I was just like, no, no, that's fine. Now I know what it is. Everything is okay. It's under control. I know because I know. So I'm going to do exactly the same as I've done before, and things will be different. Of
Yeah.
course, they weren't. So the next relapse, I decided, okay, this is real. This is not going away. I need to deal with it. And so, yeah, the treatment, I decided to go back to France to start it, putting the PhD on hold for a few weeks. And so I met this French neurologist, and he told me, you should do some sophrology. So I'm French. I kind of knew what he was talking about. As a scientist, I was just like, Hmm. I'm not so sure that these type of practices are for me or that it will have any impact. I mean, I was very Cartesian. I mean, what I wanted was conventional medicine, really.
Yeah.
But they didn't have this option. So when the neurologist said sophrology, I was like, okay, I'm skeptical, but I'll give it a try because you say that it can help. We shall see how. And I gave it a try. And it was incredible. Like within a few weeks, I completely transformed as a person. And I even like I remember when I noticed I felt different, but the weeks of practice I had, the changes were kind of subtle and at some point it just hit me. Like I remember when I went through the door of my flat and I was just like, I'm happy to be alive. And I
Oh,
know that whatever happens, I got everything I need within myself to deal with whatever. And this was such a transformation because before that, I was always a anxious person. I was living in fear all the time. I tended to imagine worst case scenarios for everything. I was
wow.
pushing myself super hard with my work and everything. And so at that time, when I started the treatment and when it became real, like my head was consumed literally with
Yes.
with all these thoughts about but what does it mean? How am I going to be able to keep my job? And what's going to happen?
Rose is sending, sorry, Audrey, or Rose is sending your hearts.
Oh, thank you, Rose.
Sounds like she's feeling your vibe. Know what you're talking about.
Mm. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, day and night, I was just like, what's going to happen to me? And nobody could say as well. That's just so
Mhm.
frustrating. So depending on the condition you may have, but a condition like MS, everybody is different. Everybody has different type of MS. Everybody is gonna live it in a different way. And yes, so nobody can tell you when is the next relapse going to be, how bad is it going to be, what's going to happen. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
So that lack of control and uncertainty for me was unbearable. And when I started sophrology, well, two things happened. Well, the first one was that from day one, after my first session, I could go home and practice for myself.
Wow.
That was something like already like, it gives you that impression of control. I was like,
Yes, and
okay.
there's so many things out there, but I don't. Sometimes you need a massage. You need that professional pair of hands on you to with their professional ability or osteopathy or something. But really, true healing comes from within, isn't it? Our body's a self-healing system, and
Mm.
if you know how to plug into that with some method or some way, you put yourself straight in the center of your own power, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I love massage. I love the touch therapies and I love it.
Mm.
But I also love a lot the fact that I know when I'm in the thick of it, I don't need anybody to to take me out. And
Yeah.
I have this power of doing it myself. So that
Do, do,
is something
do you
that
think?
gives you a lot of confidence to go forward.
Mm. Are you a particularly autonomous person? You like to do it yourself? Are you like to do your own way kind of person, or do you think this is true for anybody? Is it a particular kind of
I
person?
mean, so I think what I do with the sophrology, anybody can do. Because if I could do it, clearly anybody could do it. Let me tell you, Alcia, I wasn't the type, so I was skeptical to start with. I wasn't the type to sit on a cushion for an hour. I had never done meditation, relaxation. That really in my head wasn't for me. I wasn't that type, but I could engage with this practice. And I could do it myself.
Mm.
And so, yes, it didn't take much. It didn't take very long. Like initially, I noticed that I started to feel less stressed. And then the next I noticed was, yeah, I'm happy to, as I say, happy to be alive. And I had such confidence. And I think what happened, the changes that were quite subtle, but eventually came up very big one day. And as I say, it was within a few weeks of practice, is simply that increase in awareness, which I guess, sometimes you can I wasn't really feeling my body. I was so disconnected from my body. But now I was
Ah,
connected. I could feel what was happening, and I could deal with what was inside. And the thoughts started to change. It's not that I didn't have any negative thoughts, but before they were on automatic and I wasn't even conscious of them. But here I was starting to think more positively naturally. But when a negative thought would come, I would be aware of it. And I started to cultivate again this relationship with myself. I think where I was just like, oh, that's interesting, but why am I thinking this? Well, okay, that could also go this way. So yeah, I think that awareness and the fact that you feel you can yeah you can change sometimes. It's not always about changing how you feel. It's first being with what is, but knowing that sometimes you can change it as well. That's very powerful.
really empowering, isn't it? And if you're in the middle of the night or first in the morning and all these difficult negative thoughts, you know what to do to change it. You have the ability, the knowledge, you know what to do. And then because ME is not psychological, is it? It's physical. You're feeling. I've never had ME, thank goodness,
Oh,
but
it's MS, multiple sclerosis. Sorry.
MS. Sorry.
Yes.
I mean, it's still it's physical. It's very physical. Um, but as we know, it's the mind reflects the body, and the body reflects the mind, the emotions. It's all one package. It's not a separate thing. Our
Yes.
body.
I mean, what happens inside is certainly reflected. And when I look back, I could see a clear correlation for me. And I
Yeah.
believe it is probably true of many, many chronic conditions, although it's complex and it's multifactorial. But for me, there was clearly a correlation between when I would have a relapse and the
Mm,
amount of stress I'd been under before.
yeah. Yeah. It's linked, isn't it? It's linked. You can't get away from
Um, yeah.
and so what so you got into sophrology. Was it immediate effect or did it take you a long time to learn it as a patient when you first got onto it?
So maybe I had a bit of a sophrology boot camp. I wasn't perhaps the standard client because I had just put the PhD on hold for a few weeks. The idea was, okay, I start the treatment, I'm with my family around, and then I go back and carry on with my studies.
Mm.
So I didn't spend much time in France. It was less than a month. But
Okay.
maybe I saw I saw the person a couple of times a week, like instead of maybe every other week. I mean every week. And that's it. I came back. I was autonomous. I could do it for myself. I had my little practice I would do every. I tended to practice in the morning. For me, I'm a morning person, so I had my practice I would do like my 10-15 minutes every morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I needed, I would use the exercises during the day, and everything was absolutely glorious and fine till
Amazing.
I completed my PhD successfully. I went to do a postdoc at the University of East Anglia. And at that time, moving places, all of this, changing my routine, and feeling so well, there was a part of me who was like, surely I'm not well because of sophrology. Bear in mind, I started the treatment at the same time I started to practice sophrology. So I was just like, yeah, it's probably the treatment is working very well. And
Yeah.
sophrology has nothing to do with that. Oh, then during the postdoc, when I stopped practicing, I started to notice negative thinking pattern coming back. I had relapses. When I would practice, I would be well. When I didn't, I would go down. And then I just like, okay,
Okay.
I'm
The
gonna become
message.
a practitioner myself.
Oh, fantastic. So tell us about sophrology. What is it? What practices did you do? What things did you do?
Okay, so this is always a big question, and I just it's always so difficult I find to explain in a way because it combines so many different modalities. But It's a mind-body practice that's uniquely structured to be very practical and accessible for everyone. And it really helps you first regulate your internal state by calming yourself, releasing tensions. But it helps you as well to start, as I said, we go a lot through the body and starting to rewire the brain as well and to change how you feel and how you experience life as a person. So, on a more practical way, sophrology involves gentle body movements which are not there to develop your core or your strengths.
Yeah,
In that sense, it's
yeah.
different from Pilates. It's more perhaps inspired by yoga, and the aim is to help you be in your sensations and sense how it feels. So, and to do
It's
just what's right.
more like a sort of Tai Chi, or
Yeah,
I looked
maybe a
at
little bit like this. So it's very, very gentle movements. The idea is that you sense what feels right for you.
okay.
And you see how far you want to take them. So and those exercises as well, they help you start releasing tensions in the body, which of course accumulates when you are worrying all the time. So there is also some breath exercises. We have a range of breathing exercises in sophrology. We have visualizations, positive imagery. So sometimes we are in the here and now. Sometimes we go into the past. Sometimes we go into the future. Sometimes we work with our values. So it's very comprehensive. It can be used in a variety of ways as well. It's been used in France for um, in hospitals, in pain management centers, but it's also used
Fantastic.
in businesses. It's used in schools. It's used in competitions and elite sports
Wow.
for athletes. So it's not just about relaxation. It can also be about being the best version of yourself or to perform. It's very flexible.
It sounds amazing because I mean, in we're really missing out in the UK. I'm so pleased you're here because it sounds, you can use it in all walks of life. And I think in the West we're driven to achieve, to push forward, that we've got our energy, our whatever intelligence we've got to make something happen, to create something. But there's a whole other world who what we are, isn't it? Like using all these lovely techniques of imaginary. I don't know exactly what you do, but doing ways to relax and move and let go of what we're holding inside, to use vision and memory and future and past. It sounds like it's a fantastic tool to get out of this. It's all on me. It's I've got to do everything, all the pressure. I've got to be this fantastic achieving thing. No, you're human. And it sounds like a wonderful tool to bring out the best in you. Am I on the right ballpark or no?
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. It helps you. It helps you realign with who you are. So that's, I often talk
Fantastic.
about that mind-body connection and how sophrology helps you tap into the power of the mind-body connection. And what I mean by that is what we sense in the body, of course, affects our thoughts and how we feel, and our thoughts are going to affect our body and also our
Yes.
beliefs, and all of that is going to affect how we experience life
Mm,
and any of our experiences. But actually, we have this capacity, as you say, to tap into this, to modulate, to bring in alignment the mind and the body. And when you do this, quite naturally, it changes the way you experience whatever it is you were experiencing and the way you experience life, because it helps you to become true to yourself and
mm.
to align with who you are and what you want. And from that point of view, you become the best version of yourself. Maybe it seem all a bit abstract, but if I give you an example,
Yeah, please.
just something simple, but I work a lot with people who, due to my journey, I work a lot with people who have long-term conditions, and I've done work with people who have cancer, who have fibromyalgia, who have chronic fatigue. With the chronic fatigue, often people come to me and what they want is to be fixed and they want more energy. And my job as a sophrologist is to help them to first reconnect with the body, but in a positive and gentle way. It's never because, when you have sometimes pain, and so that may sound scary to go and look into the body, but we do that in a
Yeah.
very gentle way. And yeah, I've had people who experienced such a change by taking short moments to just be with themselves and to just replenish and gaining awareness of where they're at and what it is that you sometimes you can push a bit, and sometimes that no, right now is this type of state where I need to resource myself. And so when you become more in tune with this, it changes everything, because all of a sudden you do these short breaks that doesn't seem like much. It's not initially what you want to do, because what you want is more energy. But actually, by putting the short breaks, that's how they get some more energy, and they realize they have more capacity and they can do more in their days. So that's very,
Because we can get very focused, can't we? We can get very focused to achieve something, but then having a practitioner like yourself, you can see things from the whole picture of what's going on with you, your life, your feelings, or whatever's going on,
yeah.
and then you can identify where's the missing things, and when they do those practices, it's seeing things from another point of view.
Mm.
And what about if people they have trauma or they have damage in their bodies, or they can't go to themselves, like they can't reconnect, if they're triggered by going to connecting with their bodies or their past or their feelings and things.
Yes. So, I mean, to start with sophrology, we don't look at trauma. We are not we're not into focusing. When I say the past, it will be positive resources from the past, and if the past is not a positive resource, then we won't go there. We'll stay in the present. We might go into the future. However, I'll make sure that the recent past from the time you start working with me is going to become something accessible, actually, to start creating the positive memory from when we start working together. So that's the past can then be integrated in the sessions. But yes, so sometimes it feels difficult to reconnect with the body, but actually the way we do it, I think in sophrology, because we are very permissive. It's about it's time and space for you to connect with yourself and to do what you feel is right. So if
Mhm.
connecting with the body doesn't feel right, then you're allowed. You have the freedom to skip it, to not connect. And when I
Well,
worked with people who have cancer, I always say, if we're going to go do a body scan, I say, if there's a part you want to skip, feel free to skip. You don't have to follow me. So
that
first,
sounds great, really, really comforting, comfortable,
yeah, you're
and
always in
no
charge.
pressure.
You're always in charge. I guide a particular exercise. Let's say I do a side stretch where I invite to extend the arm. Well, I work with people, I mean, with women who had mastectomy. Sometimes you don't bring the arm very far, and yet when they do this exercise, I remember having the comment of, "Oh, it was amazing because I actually didn't think I could lift it that up because we do it gently." So I've yeah, I haven't got many experiences of people who told me they couldn't engage with the practice. It's been more the other way. It's like often
Mm,
people come to me because they would have tried everything else before
mm, yeah.
that didn't necessarily work for them. I'm not suggesting that sophrology is better or worse than anything else. I think it just deserves to be known as a modality, as a choice out there, because we are all different and it's about finding what works for you. Um, and yeah, I mean, they may have experienced sometimes a relief during a certain period of time, but then they couldn't keep with a sustained practice, or it didn't work out for them, and so they come to me and they're just like, well, why is this going to be any different? But then when they try it, yes, it resembles many of the things they've done, but yet is the one thing they can keep doing and they can integrate and incorporate in their daily lives.
I think one of the key aspects, it sounds like, is that people take charge of their own, once they know what to do, it's empowering. It's coming from your center, from your own ability. So can you talk about somebody that you've taken through this? What state were they in when they came to you, and what did you do with them, and what were the results? Could you share an
Yeah,
example?
so I could speak. So there are different ways. So I've worked with some people who suffered with chronic fatigue syndrome
Mhm.
who are now training to become sophrology
Oh
practitioners.
wow.
So from people who were super low energy, they now
Yeah,
found the energy to go throughout a 2 years course. So that, I think, speaks for itself.
definitely.
I've worked with people as well with chronic pain,
Mm.
and well, again, my process is very gentle.
Mhm.
So we don't do too long sessions. Usually, when I guide a session, I will include a mix of exercises. If I work with somebody one-to-one, I will bespoke it and we'll see which exercises I resonate most with. If it's in a group, I offer always a variety so that people can engage with what resonates with them. And again, short reconnection with the body. I've had people who, within a few weeks, started to shift pain. Like I remember this person who said, "I could go and walk without my walking stick today after 3 weeks."
Brilliant.
It felt like magic. Starting to feel that they can modulate the experience. So it's this mind-body connection. It's about
Yes.
modulating the experience that you have. So they realize they can put the volume down on the pain, and
Yes.
then over more weeks, they realize it's not having the impact that it was having, because often you get into this vicious cycle, don't you? When you suffer with something that is chronic, like it means it has gone for a long time, and you've gone
Yes.
down this route of feeling more and more tensions in the body, going from worry to catastrophizing. That's what I was, and then there's a frustration or sometimes even the hopelessness that affects.
Yeah,
Like it's little by little, you lose who you are. You don't recognize yourself anymore. You stop doing
absolutely.
because of the fear of doing things, and then you isolate yourself, and
On and
so
on. Can cause depression, all sorts of things.
so it's
Lack
about
of
circling
self-esteem.
back up. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I'm not a magic wand. I wish I had, and it certainly is dependent on the practice. So it's about putting the practice in place, but again, it doesn't take long. It doesn't require much time, effort, or energy. And when you start making those little changes every day, things happen and you start circling back. So
Yeah.
yes, I've had people who, I mean, actually I did an intervention in the context of a study, a randomized controlled trial, which was assessing the impact of sophrology on adults living with chronic pain. So that was done by the University of West London, Charlotte Chatfield, and Caroline Lafarge was the supervisor. And me, I delivered the intervention. And what we found, well, it helps with the pain levels, but with quality of life, and also reduce the amount of medication. This was just so clear, and this is also one of the feedback I get often. And if you reduce the amount of medication, then it means that it's not affecting you the same way. The threshold is not the same.
Yes. Yes, because the thing is when you're feeling better, you just don't want to take the medication. And some people talk about, well, what about withdrawal symptoms? I mean, sometimes people have told me that they get really strong withdrawal symptoms. But if you are on the healing path and you're getting results and feeling better, your energy's rising, your whole system, your whole mindset is just feeling at peace, feeling better, then you just don't naturally want to take stuff because you don't need it for a start. So it naturally just drops off.
Yeah, and I'm not, by the way, I am not a GP. I'm not medically trained. I never suggest to anybody I work with not to take medication. If they take medication, they take medication. I always refer to a GP personally. And, you know, that's, I consider myself very complimentary. We work with whatever is there. But
Yes.
if they decide to reduce medication and if that has been okayed by a doctor, well, then great.
Perfect. And so you were offering to do a mini kind of walkthrough about how this works. Do you want to give it a go?
Yes, so again, there are so many things, but I thought we could do something, and I can just dissect it, but very brief, very just to take a moment here now to connect with ourselves. So if that's okay with everybody, I'm going to invite you to decide which position you want to be. Maybe you want to recline at the back of the chair. Maybe you want to stand if you find yourself fidgety. It's really up to you. If you are in bed, you can join from bed because everything is adaptable, isn't it? And let's just take a moment now to arrive where we are, checking our surroundings, making sure we are okay with where we are. And if you feel like it, I'd like to invite you to close the eyes. But if that doesn't feel right, again, feel free to simply perhaps lower the gaze and fix a point on the floor. I'm going to invite you to start with a gentle stretch of the whole body. So however you want to do this, breathing in, hold and gently stretch whatever needs to be stretched today to sense the body, and breathing out, bringing your hands back into their resting position, whether it's on your lap or wherever it's comfortable for you. And I just invite you now to go from head to toe as if you were a little scan machine, and just noticing how you feel in the body. How does the body feel? Can you sense the points of contact with the chair? Are your feet in contact with the floor? Are your hands placed in a good way? I mean, do you feel you need to adjust the posture in any way or not? And just allowing, maybe with each out breath, or maybe imagining the muscles releasing, allowing the whole body right now to gently relax, to gently settle, to be fully supported by the chair if you're sitting, by the bed if you're lying, by the floor if you're standing. Going from head to toe, just letting go as if a wave of relaxation was descending into the body, increasing the brow, softening the cheeks, and clenching the jaw, dropping the shoulders, releasing the arms and hands, allowing your breath to be as free as possible, perhaps even letting the belly move when you breathe or not, and letting the legs soften. Now, I'd like to invite you, and that's because a lot of us may carry tensions around the shoulders area, to bring your hands by your side and put your hands into gentle fists. And breathe in, lift the shoulders up. Hold, gently tense that part with the shoulders, and then drop out, release. Let's do this a second time. Breathing in. Hold the shoulders up, tense, and release. And I'm going to let you do this a third time if you want to. Remember, you don't have to if you don't want. You sense what the body needs. Holding the air just as much as you want. Okay, so let's check in again. How does it feel? Can you sense anything inside? Perhaps some sensations around the shoulder, but perhaps not. And here really the invitation is to welcome what is, no judgment. Maybe there is some tingling, maybe there is an itch, maybe there is a yawn. Maybe you feel heavy or light, cool or warm. Maybe you feel nothing at all. That's your experience, it's valid. I'd like to invite you now to bring something to mind that puts a smile on your face. Something that warms your heart, could be an object, could be a place, maybe it's a color. Maybe it doesn't show up very visually, maybe it's more like a sensation. Something you can touch or something you can smell. Maybe it is a smell, maybe it is a taste or a sound even. And just once you find something that feels right for you right now, that feels happy, that feels good, just staying with the presence of what has come up and almost as if you were noticing this positive energy, these feelings it provides, how it makes you feel, trying to really capture that in the body. Why is that such a good thing for you? What has come up? How does it make you feel? Allow yourself to strengthen any positive sensations or feelings. However it comes to you, whatever is possible in this moment. And then let what has come up go and again reconnect, sensing what is happening inside. How do you feel in this moment? No judgment. There is no right or wrong. Just what's coming up, what's happening in the body. Perhaps the mind is busy, but just sitting there and observing what is. Again, perhaps a sensation of heaviness, lightness, feeling spacious, feeling restricted, feeling calmer, feeling more alive. I'm going to invite you to open the eyes. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much, Audrey. That was lovely. So simple, isn't it?
So this was very simple, but there
Mm,
are already quite a few principles in there that I think can help anybody to start implementing this in their everyday life.
mm.
First thing is to just pause and notice how you are and to release whatever you can release. And that can be like, while you are waiting for the cup of tea to brew, maybe just taking this moment to notice, okay, how is my body placed? How do I feel? And if you notice your tensions are, your shoulders are up there, just release them. If you notice your hands are all clenched, release them, release what you can release there and then. And simply starting to connect. It's like, okay, what's there? And not judging, not at the
Yes.
moment being with, okay, that's what it is. And
Because
maybe then,
half the time we sort of react all the time. We have behaviorisms and memories, and we are in reactionary state. We function sort of outwardly. But when you tune in, I mean, when I was just tuning in there, I went straight back to childhood. I was swinging on my swing, and I was just it just reconnected with me with my father.
oh,
And we clashed a bit, nothing bad, but we're just opposite characters, and I was just on that swing, and I thought Dad did this for me. He put the swing there, he fixed it so it was strong, and it just has a little loving moment. And memories, when you tune in, all sorts of things can happen, isn't it? Memories come back and things. So I wanted to invite everybody, if you wanted to unmute
yeah.
and ask Audrey something. If you want to ask her something, I'll make it so that you can unmute if you want to. You can do that. If anyone wants to make a comment or ask Audrey something about sophrology, or what did you feel when she was taking you through that? If you want to share
Okay, it was
something.
very quick, but yes, I'll be interested to either in the chat or if somebody wants to unmute. But you don't have to either. Oh, Karen.
I nearly fell asleep. I was so relaxed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was really good.
Well, thank you for sharing, Karen.
Have you heard of sophrology, Karen?
No,
It's new over here, isn't it? And Audrey was saying that not many people do it here in the UK.
no, I've never heard of it. No, but it sounds really good. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Sounds really,
Yes,
really gentle and really
it is.
practical. I
It
love the
is
empowering.
practical.
Yeah, I love the empowering bits. You know, your body heals if you know what to do and how to help yourself.
I get a
Such
Yes,
a
then
simple
you.
problems around
technique.
here, relaxing my jaw.
Mm,
So that sort of like as I did that with the shoulders, I thought I'm aware that my jaw is really tense. I wake up with it tense in the morning. I'm sure I grind my teeth. Uh,
mm.
so it sort of I felt it around here as well to relax that. So
So
yeah,
yes, those moments of awareness where you can just pause and release and become aware of this, and then you become more and more aware of it, and you're capable of
yeah,
detensing
yeah,
quicker. And that tense and release. So today I've done it with the shoulders because often we carry tension there, but you can do it with whatever part of the body you feel there could be tension, if it's okay to tense, and judging the amount of tensions you want to have as well, because the idea is not to overdo it. And then we finish with a positive evocation of any sorts. It's almost like once we have cleared a bit that space, cleared a bit the tensions, we can invite something more positive in. But again, it's not beating yourself up if there is nothing that comes. And perhaps some days you feel good and you feel relaxed. Some days you experience a session and just like, I don't feel anything at all, or I'm just noticing that I'm not feeling that good. But it becomes yeah, the process happens naturally, that you start to reconnect with yourself, and you start to notice when you can change things, when you can't, and be okay either way.
lovely.
Amazing. Thank you, Karen. And Rosa said, I felt really relaxed, made me yawn a few times.
Ah,
Total relaxation.
thank you for sharing, Rose.
Cool.
Yes.
Sally, go ahead. Do. Just unmute yourself.
Hello. Thank you for that, Audrey. Yeah, I've had a very hectic day doing lots of technical things, which often stresses me out. Um, and I got a headache. And then doing the process of Sophrology, I feel less pain in my head, which is amazing, more relaxed. Yeah, it's really, really good. In fact, I think I had a Sophrology session many, many years ago. I live in
Ah,
Totnes in Devon, and I think somebody came from Plymouth, a French lady.
yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
yeah,
that is right. Yes, we
yeah.
we had a sophrologist in Plymouth. I don't think she's there anymore, but
No,
yes.
yeah, and she came to Totnes, and it was many, many years ago, and I can't remember much about it. But yeah, yeah, and yeah, I remember it was French, and yeah. So it's really about tuning into one's body and relaxing and being more constructive with our mind and
I
linking
would
it up with the body. Yes.
Yes, so I think the rewiring of the mind is going to happen naturally through this process of tuning in, releasing tension. So there is a part that is relaxation and regulation of the nervous system, if you want. That's the words these days that are being used. And then through this process, naturally, things start to change, and it changes the way you think, and then it changes the way you perceive the experiences. And then, yes, so it changes you, because when you start changing what's happening in the body, how you feel, how you think, it changes how you behave, and it changes who you are.
Mm.
Mm.
I, I think things
So it's
almost get
very
sort of. Sorry, Sally. Go ahead.
it's just very inspiring that you overcame MS with it. I mean that's quite a strong diagnosis, Audrey. I mean that's
Mm.
amazing. And how long did that take, would you say?
Oh, it didn't take very long. What took long for me is a process of understanding first how important it was for me to do this practice. Because yes, I had so when I started practicing, and I practiced all the time of the PhD, and I was feeling great. And then through the postdoc, I let the practice go a couple of times, and every time I experienced something not good. And that's where I realized, okay, when I practice, I'm good. When I don't, and yes, it's about tuning in with the body in a way that you sense usually when you're pushing too much, and when it's the right time to stop before you're gonna go into relapse. So that's the way I've managed it. So that's how it helps me. But it's not a magic wand either. I've had a relapse, which I'm happy to talk about, because this one I didn't see it coming at all. And that was back in 2020. And that was 2 weeks within the lockdown. And then it made sense. It was just like, okay, I actually hadn't realized how much all that was happening around that affected me. But what happened with that particular relapse is that, yes, you have your panic. The first 24 hours, I think you're allowed to panic. But quickly after that, I was like, okay, well, so my body is sending the signal. I'm going to look after myself. I'm going to be there for myself. And yes, within a week, I was better. And the process again wasn't as excruciating or creating as much anxiety as you would have in the past.
Yeah, because you had overcome it before. And it's interesting that it is about catching, because it's like if I had something to not catch me going into a headache, and the Althea's pain-free method has really helped me, because I get, when I get stressed, I get headaches, and I've been doing her work for about 2 months, and I rarely have a headache. It's just I had a very intense day, and that pattern came on. I'm interested in, when you say exercise, what sort of, is it a particular Sophrology exercise, or is it just gentle movements, or?
So yes, it's a mix, and it depends what you resonate with. But what I've just done here, that principle of checking in, release the tensions, and then bring in something that perhaps makes you feel just a little bit happier in this moment, is kind of a universal principle. But yes, there will be gentle movements. So we have movements for every part of the body to release the tensions wherever they are, and to help you reconnect with your sensations. For the breath, the way sophrology works, and the reason it's so accessible, is that we always meet people where they're at. And some people, you often hear about abdominal breathing, for instance. But if you've been stressed for many years and you're just breathing with your chest, if I tell you straight away, okay, do some abdominal breathing, that's just going to be near impossible. So with sophrology, we build it up. We start with simply becoming aware of the breath. Perhaps we're going to do some gentle movements to help unlock the breath, and then we'll do some other until we reach perhaps that stage where you can do the abdominal breathing, and it comes naturally. The visualizations often will be about the here and now. So we do start with simple things like what we've done today. Could be any thing that makes you happy. It can be more depending on what you need, some form of grounding or some form of imagery to help the body, imagining that the energy is circulating, whatever that means for you. But then again, as I said, You can sometimes go into the future, go into the past. The future, for instance, I use when I work with people who are preparing for surgery. If the surgery is planned sufficiently in advance and they come to see me sufficiently in advance, we'll do some future visualizations about that. Value work, depending on what people need. So I remember working with a person who had an incident that completely knocked her confidence, and she didn't know anymore where she was standing and where she wanted to go in her life, and she wanted to put that chapter behind and start reconstructing and moving forward. And with this particular person, for instance, we did work on values to find the meaning, the purpose, to re-engage in a way that again was aligned and rebuilding this confidence.
That's right. You just start where people are at and then build on what you think they need. If I could just talk personally, my issue that I'm working with is osteoporosis. I don't know if you've ever worked with anybody with that.
So again, sophrology is not a magic wand, and it depends. What I offer is a free consultation. So I think Alcia will put the link because this is recorded. I'm not. I don't want to discuss too much personal details either. But so I would suggest you book a free consultation. So it's about the impact that this could have, but whether sophrology is the best way. My first suggestion with osteoporosis would be, well, talk with your GP, see what they suggest at this point. Maybe often, bone exercises. That depends where it is, but it's good to do exercises, and perhaps it's not so much sophrology, but it's more things like strength training, doing walking, in a certain way. So it could be more a form of exercise therapy that is best than sophrology. But if you find that osteoporosis is making you anxious, for instance, or that you worry about it, or that's having another impact, it's preventing you from doing things, then we can discuss that.
Okay, thank you very much.
And that's why I have those free consultations, because it may not be for everybody. And so it's 20 minutes. It costs absolutely nothing. There's no obligation. At the end of the day, it's, you come out with what you feel is the right solution for you, whether it's working with me or not.
It's good to have those chats, isn't it? Because you can talk personally about your personal things in private. And so you have that space to just express, and then to hear about how you can help them and what kind of plan you might do with them if they get your help. You can get a feel for what is it, and when you explain things specifically for someone's specific conditions, I find the consultations are really good just to discover, and you'll get a feel, and then of course they're talking to you, and if when they talk to you, that you can get a feel for what's it like to work with you, because it's the same you when they get the help, so I find it a really useful thing. And so where do people find you, Audrey?
I think my website is probably the best port of call, and it has everywhere book a free consultation, so that's very easy to book a call with me. And otherwise, you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, or on LinkedIn. And I think I'll send you the links, right?
Yep, if you send me the links, then I'll put it all with the recording, all the links you want to put in there.
But I am Step Into Sophrology. That's the name of my business.
Fantastic. And so do you have any more questions for Audrey? Yep. So what kind of conditions do people typically come to you for? How do they know? Why would they imagine sophrology might be a thing for them to help them? What kind of conditions? So you had MS yourself, and
Not about the condition. It's
okay.
not about the condition. It's about the
Take it all back.
impact. It's about the impact the condition is having on your life. If you find that the condition is stealing your life away, that you don't recognize yourself anymore, that it's having a negative impact on how you feel, then I can work with a person. I work with people who had cancer, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, endometriosis, POTS, arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, tinnitus, CRPS, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, EDS, IBS. It's not about the condition, it's how it affects your life and yourself.
Okay. So a very, very critical key thing. And as we were talking about some things earlier in the West, that it's all about identifying the symptoms and make that symptom go away, which is sort of opposite of the kind of work that we do, that it's all about tuning into your rhythms and your body's expressing what you're feeling and thinking and experiencing inside of yourself, your state of mind, how you feel about the world, or how you feel about it yourself, or maybe you've been through whatever you've been through in your life, and your body will reflect all of that. So you take them within. So it's more about understanding that they're not happy and they're being affected by their symptoms.
Yeah.
And they're ready to let it go, to release whatever that is.
Yes, and that's the thing. We won't go into trauma. That's not the point of sophrology. We're not interested in the why. Why it's not relevant to us is the how. Like when somebody comes to me, even if they want to be fixed, for me, the person doesn't need to be fixed because the person is not broken. The person is whole and has everything that they need to overcome the challenges they are facing. It's just about learning how to strengthen the resources, the potential, develop this potential inside to be able to overcome the challenges. So yeah, from that point of view, it's yeah, I guess it is empowering. And sorry, I've lost the track there, but
you're saying it's not about condition. And Rose was saying, thank you for sharing your story. And very true. It's not about the condition. It's about how it affects you.
Yeah, because I'm not again medically trained. I'm not somebody who is going to work with with the symptoms per se. Is more okay, how do these symptoms affect you?
Yes.
And yeah, not about trauma either. We don't go into trauma.
Yeah, because I think the past is the past. Stuff has happened. You've been affected by how you've been affected, but how are you today, isn't it? What's your behavior? What's your experience of yourself and your life and your body today? That's where the help can happen. And as you said, you bring out through gentle exercises. I love the simplicity of it. It's so sweet and simplistic. Just need a little bit of guidance and know what to do, the ABC, what to practice.
Exactly.
And as you said, you've got changes within a couple of weeks, isn't it? You could feel different.
Yes. So some people can, everybody is different. I don't want people to think, oh yes, I'm going to work with her in 2 weeks. And everybody is different. Yes. Some people, it might be a slow start. Some people, they get onto that curve very quickly. Some people, it goes up and down. But overall, when you keep practicing, and I keep saying that, short practices on a regular basis have big positive impacts, you go overall on that onward curve.
And when somebody comes to get your help, what does it look like? Does it start? It starts with a free consultation of 20 minutes. And then if they go ahead, do you know what the plan is for them? Is it going to be a few weeks, a few months, or do you have an idea what they need? How does it
out? So that will depend indeed of the consultation. Usually, so I could have an interesting example for you. So, usually, if the condition has been there for a long time, well, again, that your circle back is not going to happen overnight. So we may want to work over a sustained period. And when I do it as a group work for people with chronic condition, I have a 12-week course because I find the 3 months is a good way to make sure that this will be integrated and sustained over time once the course finishes. And I had this client who came to me and had suffered with insomnia for 15 years. And so when they first came to me, and it was for individual sessions, I said, all right, so it's been 15 years. We're going to bring things back into balance. But again, that's not going to happen overnight. I suspect we probably have to work over 10 sessions at least. And that doesn't mean 10 weeks, because you can have the session weekly at start to create the momentum. Then you start spacing them out. But then this person, after 5 sessions, had recovered the sleep.
Lovely.
So here we go. Not what I
Amazing.
expected, but then it happened. So sometimes it can happen, but I will be honest. And anyway, we always review. I tend to review when I work with people one-to-one. Let's see after a few sessions how things are progressing and whether we continue or not. It's like, yeah.
And they go off and practice the things you teach them between your calls. And it's all online, or do people have to come and see you? Because you're up in Leeds, aren't you?
I'm in Leeds. I do things online a lot, and that helps for the people who sometimes I've had people joining the sessions. They started bedridden.
Wow.
So because again, sophrology is so adaptable and so flexible, you can do it in any position you're in. So that
Amazing.
helps not to have to go to a place. But I also offer like I've got some courses in Leeds if people want to join face to face, and I offer in person one-to-one sessions as well.
Amazing. Audrey, it's really wonderful, life-changing work you're doing. And I love the simplicity and the gentleness and the profound changes that you're having on people. And it's really lovely, really impressive. And I love the piece of self-empowerment, because we have self-healing systems. So I just want to come to the top of the hour now. So I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's joined us on the call. And thank you so much to Audrey. Audrey, would you like to leave us with our viewers of a word to think about something going forward, or a word, or something to practice, or what would you like to leave our viewers with?
I'm just going to say, because no, it's not. I'm just going to say it is okay to ask for help.
Amazing. That's succinct and perfect. Thank you so much, Audrey. Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Alcia, for inviting me. Thank you for everyone who shared and joined tonight. It was really, really great. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you, Audrey. And do get in touch if you feel drawn to Audrey's work or what she's talking about. Do get in touch with Audrey, and I'll put all the details with this recording, and it'll be on the website tomorrow. Yeah, thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.